Hey, friends.
Be punished in Scientology. It's a serious offense.
I think getting caught masturbating is pretty much punishment itself.
Right, that's supposed to be the punishment. You got caught. Yeah, they physically punish people. They make them run around a pole for hours at a time.
They have a circular track in California with a pole. They're told to run around until they learn the lesson. Reports from people who have gotten out and had to do it.
Yeah, there's probably more ex-Scientologists in the world than there are Scientologists now, but the organization has not learned to reform.
Because they make it so attractive. You know, when you see Tom Cruise on TV talking about how Scientology saved his life and saved his career, you start to think that, maybe there's something to this, when in fact, he's just given them hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, and they've just, been controlling his mind through these auditing sessions, which is their confessionals, in which they're talking about, like masturbation being a sin is where you confess, and they'll write everything down and use it as blackmail.
They film their confessions and record them.
And so
If you decide to leave the church later, they can bring that on you as a blackmail.
Yeah, that's what's going on with John Travolta. John Travolta is gay. Some people know about it and some people don't, but I've seen photos of him kissing a guy. It's not Photoshop stuff. Lots of gay men are married.
He's been packing on some weight, so he must not be running around that palm tree.
No, well, see, they treat celebrities different. Celebrities get all the benefits and none of the bad stuff. They never get punished for anything. They might get a good talking to. Yeah. They donate lots of money. That's the voice of Bart Simpson.
So, other than, where does the child labor?
Children of Scientologists. They put children of Scientologists who are in the Sea Org in dormitories, and they might see their parents for a half an hour every 2 weeks. And the rest of the time, these kids, 5 years old and older, are forced to work 12 hours, 16 hours a day. Yes, 12 hours, 16 hours a day. This is going on in Clearwater, Florida right now. Hauling stones up a hill to make a fence. It's not real work, it's make work. They just make these kids do this stuff.
It's probably good.
There's a website called Ex-Scientology Kids. Yes.
.com.
And this is people, including the niece of the head of Scientology. And go read their stories.
Thank you.
You don't hear these things from coming from people who are in Scientology because they don't want to talk about it. They don't want anybody to know about it. But it's shocking.
How big of an issue is this? Seems like
Well, I don't know. Somebody running a prison camp in the United States on United States soil who is not the government and is not being paid by the government to run that prison camp for prisoners, but for people inside their church who've said or done something that the church didn't like. That's the kind of thing that we're protesting against. That should never happen.
I mean, there's an issue that I'm not big on government intervention. And it doesn't sound good.
Well,
That's
okay.
true, but it's the
I
parents
understand what
making
you're
that
saying,
decision.
but let's extend that analogy a little bit. The government should never intervene when somebody breaks into your store and is robbing because you don't believe in government intervention. When somebody's doing something that's criminal, the government is supposed to intervene.
I don't know. It's criminal.
Criminal? Child labor is not criminal. It's against the law.
I don't know if
But
that's child labor.
kids do chores at home.
Kids do chores. What about
Chores?
As a kid in football practice, I did some crazy stuff that was pretty tough.
Well, yeah, I understand, but you didn't spend your entire life doing that. You weren't separated from your parents, were you? Sea Org. Okay. How many of you are pro-abortion? The Sea Org. If you're a member of the Sea Org and you're a woman and you get pregnant, that's their
Scientology's clergy.
toy navy. It's a pretty good sized organization within the overall Scientology group. But if you're a woman and you get pregnant, you have to have an abortion. They force you to get an abortion unless you want to quit. And if you want to quit, they make it hard on you. They bring out all that stuff that you told them during your audits. You know, every sin you've ever committed. They'll sit there and they will blackmail you. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, you have to go look at this stuff.
It goes deeper.
Any conservative should be looking at this stuff. This is not something we want to be happening in America. I mean, okay, we don't like cults. When you see a cult, you know it's a cult because you can identify what a cult is.
I gotta be honest. Cults, whatever. You want to kill yourself, there's some spaceships coming.
Oh, well, yeah. I know. Heaven's Gate. I'm with you there. Somebody wants to offer themselves. They should have every right to euthanize themselves. I don't disagree with that at all. But the deal is if you are being blackmailed into that situation, if you've put out all this money and now they tell you this crazy ass story, and now you have to believe, it'd be humiliating, you know?
Yes. Well, the guy with the camera and the guy with the glasses.
Obviously, they've made the decision that they'd rather not have all that stuff come out.
For sure. But what we're doing is we're trying to educate people so that they know not to get into it in the first place. That's really what the mission is. They're a dying organization. And we're kind of sticking the knife in a little bit deeper.
Cool.
You know, we don't want
So
this
what's
stuff
next?
going
What's
on.
gone?
What's next? More protests, more education, getting everybody to know about it. Oh, when they're gone? They'll do whatever they want. See, there's alternatives to Scientology. There are people who use the Scientology tech, a group called the Free Zone. And then there's Ron's org. You know, so you can believe in Scientology and not be a member of the Church of Scientology. There are alternatives, and those people believe some of the same nutball stuff. And I'll tell you, I believe it's all nutball stuff. But I don't prejudice myself against people who believe crazy stuff other than thinking that they're crazy. You know.
Those people.
It's only when people start doing things and start convincing people to join their group so that we can take all your money, you know, enrich ourselves at your expense. Well, yeah, I'd protest that. But I've never been to a war protest, let's put it that way. I've never protested anything else in my life. This is the first thing I found that I thought was worth protesting.
How come the media doesn't listen to this? And
They do.
investigate?
They do. They've been on CNN, they've been on Fox. MSNBC's done stories about it.
Our first protest actually got like a good 30 seconds on CW39.
Yeah. And this stuff's all on YouTube. You go to YouTube and look up.
What's not on YouTube?
Yeah, everything's on YouTube. Your life is on YouTube. Now look up Anonymous versus Scientology. You'll see a whole lot of stuff that you'll think is crazy.
You like your sign, ma'am?
The more you look, the more you'll see this stuff is self-referential, and you'll see Scientologists behaving in ways that you would never think any reasonable person would behave. You know? Yeah, exactly.
Y'all have fun outside.
Okay, y'all take care.
Y'all too. I think I am in a sit-down break.